Hello, everyone. Richard here at Calvin Wazoo, and I am joining a thread that was largely instigated by Rob Walker, and that is illustrated album covers. Seemed like a really fun idea, and I have lots of examples, and Rob only showed 10, but no, I'm going to be showing way more than 10, but I'll try and be brief as I go through them. I also tried to select an illustrated album cover representing all the genres of music that I collect, and also whether, what played a role in my selecting the particular record that I'll show. Could be one, I was completely sold on the album artwork, and bought the record solely on that without even hearing anything about the record beforehand. Or it is, someone, that I listen to, potentially collect, and they have plenty of examples of illustrated album covers. And so I tried to stay away from covers that were illustrations. I have a couple that are using artwork that was perhaps not created solely for the album, but photographs and other that, even if they were illustrative, no, something that was primarily drawn or painted is what I tried to limit myself to. So, yeah, let's go through these because, like I say, I got a lot. Once I get started pulling records, it's like, okay, I pulled all these records. Damn it, I'm going to show them all. All right. So, the first one is I'm going to start off with some classical music and some covers from that. This one here, okay, so we've got Boulez conducts Stravinsky's La Sacrée du Printemps with the Cleveland Orchestra. Really beautiful illustration on the cover with this record. So that was one that I pulled representing classical. And another one is Igor Stravinsky's Petrushka. So you've got this painting, this artwork, which, the art direction was Hartmut Pfeffer, but I believe the cover art is from a painting. I'm pretty sure I've seen it in a museum someplace that I can't remember what it is, but yeah, and it is a good depiction of the storyline in that particular ballet Petrushka. Now, kind of also melding from classical into jazz, we have this is a suite for violin and jazz piano. Claude Bolling. With this one, he's with Pinchas Zukerman on the violin. Just about all his recordings have this style of illustration on the cover. This is the only vinyl release I have by Claude Bolling. But I have others on CD, and the same thing. The cover art is this type of cartoonish characterization of the musical instruments, because the musical is, not the musical, the music that's presented in these recordings is really quite playful and also really quite imaginative and interesting. So it does really go well with the concept. This one here, this cover for Dave Brubeck. This abstract art really does reflect the type of music that is being presented with this particular recording. We've got some really ingenious compositions that are also using, they're more common now. I'm not sure about at that time, but the time signatures were challenging and interesting, and so yeah, I just really like that artwork there on the cover. Now, there's some recordings of jazz fusion. Now, this is a Japanese band, the DeLoreans, and I mean, yeah, this is one where I saw the cover and I'm like, wow, I'm buying this record, and it's pretty good. Their style of jazz fusion is very closely related to Frank Zappa's jazz fusion of 1969 in 70, with Hot Rats and the Waka Jawaka and the Grand Wazoo, that kind of era into the early 70s. Just yeah, really really nice. Also came on some very cool splatter vinyl that also matches the colors that are going on with the record. But yeah, as Rob was saying, sometimes the artwork is something you really spend a lot of time looking at while you are listening to the music. This is a much more simpler illustration, but I've always liked it. And that's the cover for Stanley Clarke's School Days release. It might initially strike you as, a photograph, but it's not, it's an illustration. And I just have always really liked what was going on with this, the whole combination of the music and the idea of graffiti art and a subway wall, just, really goes well with this particular record. And then, of course, Frank Zappa had, this is probably my favorite illustration to go with the Waka Jawaka record. I mean, I just love this cover. I love the colors, the green and the ochre and yellow, and then the sink. I mean, it's just a really fantastic cover. I believe this is a Cal Shank. No, this is Marvin Mattelson. Mattelson is the person who designed this cover. But another, probably more famous or infamous cover Zappa illustration was this one for Weasels Rip My Flesh, which was done by Neon Park, who did a lot of album covers for Little Feat. But yeah, this is, when it comes to album illustrations, cover illustrations, this is a pretty amazing one. And I really do like that cover and that design. Kind of getting all over the place here, but this record here, I saw this cover and I'm like, I've got to have it. This is just, I don't know what it is, but we've got some, it's Osabisa, and it's some, African funk, really, they do the song Echo BIA, which is something that Ginger Baker did, not with them, I don't think, but I think he did it with maybe Fela Kuti or something. But yeah, on the back here too. My copy is not the cover is not in the greatest shape. It's got stickers on it that this is a sample copy, and that kind of thing. So not quite frameable, but very cool. I mean, I just love those elephants flying in with like dragonfly wings or butterfly wings even. This cover sold me. I mean, I saw this and I'm like, what the hell is this? And so this was my introduction to the musical collective known as Aksak Mabul. And this record is essentially translates to, now let me see what, I can't remember what it is. Right, it's either French or Belgian French. But anyway, so un peu de l'âme de bandit. Oh, Bandits. This is Bandits. The recording. And I looked at this record and I'm like, all right, I don't know what this is, but I'm buying it because of the cover. Just a really incredible cover illustration that also really fits in with the very avant-garde experimental meld of jazz and kind of progressive rock, and just a really good album. Now the Residents have always had some really good album covers, and some of them were timely for their time and certainly wouldn't fly today. such as the album cover for Third Reich and Roll with the swastikas on it. It's not something that necessarily would probably fly today, but what a great album. But this one here, I just love this illustration on the cover. All right, so we've got the Tunes of Two Cities, which is part of the Mole trilogy, I believe. But yeah, I just very residence-like in terms of the caricature and the characterizations and that. And then the cover they did for the Snakey Wake, when Snakefinger died, really, really well done illustration with this cover. We've got this representation of Snakefinger, here with the very long finger, perhaps a reference there to his genitalia, who knows, but good recording, good song, and a very nice homage to Snakefinger, and that cover really fits in well. So yeah, then we have the Master Musicians of Bukkake. And this, when I saw this cover, again, here was a band, although I did, when I saw the cover, because I saw it online, I did listen to it first online, and so I'm thinking, all right, this is a great cover, and I really like this very experimental drone electronic music that blends musical themes and styles from all over the world. So the Master Musicians of Bukkake, which is a riff on the Master Musicians of Jojoka, which is a historical collective of musicians from Morocco. However, the Master Musicians of Bukkake, again, I'll just look at that cover, they are from the Seattle area. Here's one very simple, and it's a great album. I always loved this album. The Busboys, Minimum Wage, Rock and Roll, great illustration. I think that goes with this record, and it's a fun record. Not too difficult to find, and it's almost always very inexpensive. You should check them out. Eddie Murphy was totally infatuated with them, and he got them on a couple episodes of Saturday Night Live. This one is I guess a funk record from the 70s, Warlock. And yeah, the cover is just really quite interesting to me. I mean, we've got this centaur, but it's apparently a female centaur. Most centaurs that are depicted are male. But we also got these wings, which I don't think most centaurs have, or minotaur. Maybe this is a minotaur, but it's a female minotaur, and just a good album. And the cover art is really quite good as well. This is for this band, this is kind of a soul and funk band, the SOS Band. And this cover illustration, really nicely done. It's a really good cover, with this jet-powered Zeppelin. Band on the Rise is the name of the album. So like some soul and funk, and you haven't listened to the SOS Band, you should give them a listen. But yeah, I do like that cover. The cover is, let me see if I can find it quickly in terms of who did the cover art. SOS Band, hairstyles, clothes, mixing, recorded. You know what? I'm not finding it quickly enough. Taboo. I'm not sure if Taboo's the label, or if that's here. Ezra is the signature on there, so I don't know who Ezra is, but it's a very nice cover. Of course, there's the Tom Tom Club. This is the new Record Store Day reissue. I always had this on CD. I had it on vinyl, I think, a long time ago, but not anymore. But anyway, just, very wonderful, whimsical, like the record, illustration for the cover, the band members and that, and kind of, partying, and a little bit of the reference, to the rhythmic styles of the music. Yeah, Malibu Ken. We got Aesop and Tobacco collaborating on this. The cover really is. What an illustration. And again, thematically, it fits with the music for the most part. Not necessarily, it didn't go over well with the Gunkles when I suggested this for a review, but I think this is a great album, and that cover is like, I didn't buy it because of the cover, but the cover surely makes it. Rob also showed some albums by the Gorillaz. This is the only one I have on vinyl, but the illustration, the whole concept of the band, evolves and revolves around, the creation of the characters in the storyline, etc. And just a lot of great illustrations all the way around with the album artwork, with the inserts, etc. And again, something that just fits really well with the music. I have other releases of theirs on CD, but I would like to get some of these on vinyl. I think some of them have kind of gotten pricey, but there are some reissues that are available. This is one where the cover just totally, again, was a blind buy, but I was looking at this cover and just everything that's going on with this illustration. And the band is, and you will know us by The Trail of Dead. And this is a piece, the artwork is by Conrad Keeley, I believe. And the album name is The Century of Self. But yeah, this, I could pull out, again, everything in the packaging with the illustration. And like what Rob said in his video, listening to the record and just, gazing over the album artwork and looking and finding all the different things that are in there adds to the experience of listening to the music. Of course, one of the reasons I buy anime soundtracks is because of the artwork and the illustrations, and I decided to pick this one here. It was hard for me to decide which one, but this is a fantastic film, A Silent Voice, and 2, it's a really good soundtrack, and 3, the illustration, the artwork, the cover is really depicting well what's going on with the story, and it employs all these other elements that are important symbols in the film, such as the cherry blossoms and the koi, and then the fact that the 2 primary characters are on this bridge or this overlook over this canal. Wonderful artwork. Do love anime and a lot of the artwork, especially with the soundtracks that get released. Moving into another direction, we got this one, Old and in the Way. So we've got this illustration of the members of the band, Old and in the Way, with Jerry Garcia and Vassar Clements. And, I'm having trouble remembering all their names. David Grisman, Peter Rowan, and John Kahn. Wonderful bluegrass album, and recorded by Owsley Stanley. and just superb record, Old and in the Way, classic. And I also really like the simplicity of this illustration for Cat Stevens, Teaser and Firecat, right? This is Teaser and the Firecat, yeah. I just love the simplicity of this, because the subtle references that are going on in here, particularly with the you got the moon in the background there in reference to Moon Shadow, which is a wonderful song. But I do love that illustration. And another interesting illustration that I really like is this one here on the cover of Villagers, becoming a jackal, and the way that you've got this sort of abstract cubist rendition of one of the characters in one of the songs staring down, and the reflection of a jackal staring back up at him. Really good album. Conor O'Brien, really excellent songwriter, and I do like Villagers, and I do really like this illustration on the cover of that particular record. This is a good cover. I like the illustration here on this Viagra Boys cover from Cave World, because each of these little cubes is a reference to different songs that are on here, and it's just a fun cover. I like it. Wonderful, great album. Maybe one of the top albums. Well, it is one of the top albums of 2022. This is an album that not only does it have a really interesting illustrative cover. When I first heard this record, I was in a record store and they were playing it, and I'm like, is this Genesis? Because I guess Fish, who was the original lead singer for Marillion, he has a Peter Gabriel kind of sound to his singing. It's a prog band, so there's some similarities in the music they play. And then this illustration of the, in the cover art, just, really adds to it. I mean, that just scowl, of the boy on the cover, just really, I don't know, it's just, evokes this mood to go with the record. Love this illustration, which is a drawing taken from a real photograph that goes with the release Goo by Sonic Youth. Really great pencil drawing of that. Yeah, it's also relates to a famous murder case. But yeah, love that. And then I always thought it was interesting. Maybe it's not all that groundbreaking or whatever, but the cover art for this one, for Nectar, A Tab in the Ocean, and you've got the the chemistry going on here. So there's a little cross-reference, perhaps, with the concept of dealing with psychedelics, but also with the chemistry of the evolution of life on Earth, which began in the oceans. Really nice cover art. And with that, almost done. This to me is, while it's not it's a great album. It's not my favorite Jimi Hendrix album, but I love the cover. And all the rest of it, the reference to, the Hindu deities, just, fantastic cover artwork, I should say. Great way to illustrate. And, the early David Bowie album, now this one was released as Images, but I just love, again, the way the renditions of the different panels, like cartoon panels or comic panels that you would see in a Sunday paper kind of thing. I just really liked how that was done for the cover, and it goes on with the in the back cover as well. I enjoy this record. I mean, a lot of people don't think much of it, but I do really enjoy this images, and I especially love the cover artwork that was done for this, for each individual song. So yeah, David Bowie's Images, a double record of his early material from 1966 to 67. And then we've got, of course, Cheap Thrills from Big Brother and the Holding Company. Kind of a similar concept where you've got these different panels that are referencing different songs on there, but again, really interesting. And, you know, it again draws you in while listening to the music. And, you know, early Janis Joplin. The simplicity of Car Seat Headrest and Twin Fantasy, the cover, this simple drawing by Kate Wirtz, and just, it is just a really, really wonderful drawing and cover that thematically represents the album extraordinarily well. Just beautiful, beautiful cover. And, you know, again, like I say, so simple. And then a couple, maybe on the outrageous side, you know, we've got this one here, Independent Worm Saloon by the Butthole Surfers. I mean, I look at it and I'm chuckling, you know, what a cover, right? And then of course there's this one. I mean, how could you do a video about you know, illustrated, you know, fantastic illustrative artwork that goes with albums, and not mention 21st Century Schizoid Man, which actually the name of the album is, you know, In the Court of the Crimson King by King Crimson. But I mean, Jesus, one of the earliest albums to be, I believe, sold without any text at all, not even on the spine about the album, just this. And, you know, 1969, when you didn't necessarily have access to YouTube videos or other media to preview an album, you know, it was, you know, you either had to know about the band or it was the album artwork that got you to plonk down your $4 or $5 at the time the records were selling for. And yeah, this was, record company did not like the fact that there was no text at all on the cover. But another outrageous, just alien sex fiend. This, you know, acid bath. This, I mean, again, this is an album that makes me, the artwork makes me chuckle. So, yeah, this is very cool album. The music is great. Well, it's good. It's really good. I'm not going to say it's great, but it's really good. And the cover, I mean, Jesus, I can't. It's like, oh. All right, so those are my records. Too many, I know, of some of my favorite artwork, cover artwork, illustrative artwork that will, you know, for covers. I'll have a link in the Down Under to Rob Walker's video, so you can see the video that's launching this, what is turned into a thread, and you can also look up what other people are doing. Leave a comment in the Down Under. I love getting the comments. Be sure to do that. Hit that like button, even if you're already subscribed. It would be nice if you're not subscribed to subscribe. But hitting the like button just does a tremendous good in terms of distributing the content and getting it in front of more people. I am also on Instagram as NewsDude76. That's NEWZDUDE76. I have a Facebook page called Calvin Wazoo, where you can see, besides the videos that I create, other music-related content. And as always, remember to pray for the people inside your head, for they won't be there when you're dead.